Hi guys, alrighty, today we are going to be starting a declutter series. You will see this intro for all of my declutters, but we are going to be starting a declutter series. I am so excited, you guys. I am trying to go through my collection because in 2022, as you know, we are doing a no buy, low buy, so I'm not going to be buying makeup. If I do, I'll buy like one thing, but I'm trying not to buy anything. So we are doing a no buy, low buy, so I'm taking this time to go through my collection and go through all my eyeshadow palettes and all my blushes and all my highlighters and find out what I like and what works for me and what I actually want, because I have a lot of makeup and let's be honest, I don't use it all. I really truly don't. So that is the goal, is to go through everything and just keep the things I use. I don't need all this. It's gonna go bad before I can use it all. So I'm really trying to minimize my collection and hopefully we can get this done. But you guys, let's jump into the declutter. Welcome to part 2 of my eyeshadow palette declutter. This is insane. I probably have a lot more palettes in this section than I did in the first part, so this is gonna be even longer. Grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's begin. I'm not going to show you an overview this time because I'm literally drowning in eyeshadow palettes, so we are just going to begin. I even have a few off camera here that you can't see. The first one I have is this Berry Cola palette by UCAN-B. Oh, that is really pretty. I love the UCAN-B formula. They have a lot of really great palettes. I need to be a lot more cutthroat in this half of the video because I can see a lot that I already want to keep. So this one, it's pretty, but I never reach for it. We can get rid of that. This is the Fruit Pie Filling palette by UCAN-B. This is a dupe for the Jeffree Star X Morphe palette, and I actually have the Jeffree Star X Morphe palettes. And I am going to... they're both really pretty. They both perform really well. I'm going to keep this one. And then when we get to the Jeffree Star X Morphe, actually, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to compare the two, and then we'll see which one we're keeping. So I set that on the floor, and we'll just set that aside. One I know for a fact I'm already keeping is the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded. I like this palette. It's a really nice nude, so we're keeping that. One I can get rid of is the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette. I also have the Laura Lee Los Angeles Cat's Pajamas palette. I don't ever reach for this, you guys. Let's see. Looks like this. We can just get rid of that, to be honest. Yeah, I don't ever reach for that. I'm trying to remember how I even got that. This is the Nudity Palette by Laura Lee Los Angeles. I do really like this palette, and this one I still do reach for. We'll keep that one. And then I have a Eyeshadow palette. This is the Colorado Aspen palette. I just used this one in a video not too long ago, and we are keeping that one. And then I had the Tartiste Pro Remix palette. I never use this palette. We can get rid of that. One I am keeping mainly for nostalgia reasons and because I love this palette. This is the Urban Decay X Kristen Leanne palette. This is a stunning palette. The layout is a little weird, but the colors in it are gorgeous and they are one of my favorite. And we're keeping this mainly for nostalgia reasons, but because I also love the palette. Alrighty, so that was our first stack. The next stack we have is this one. So I have a lot of Ace Beauté. Mainly because of BoxyCharm. This is the Ace Beauté Scarlet Dusk palette. This is one of my favorite Ace Beauté palettes, and we are keeping that. And then I have the Nostalgia palette by Ace Beauté. Ooh, this one's also really pretty, and we will keep that one. I have one more. Where is... what did I do with it? Oh, it's down there. It's in the other pile. Okay. And then this is the Makeup Revolution Tammy X Revolution palette. This is a really pretty palette. Let me open the next one just to see, because this is the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless palette. I'm going to keep the Forever Flawless, and we will get rid of the Tammy X Revolution one. Nothing wrong with this palette. It is a really pretty palette, and it performs really well. I just have these colors many times over. And then we have the Forever Flawless Fire palette. This is a really pretty nude. I don't think I've ever used this. We're going to keep it just because I do not think I've ever used it. And then I have a couple Juvia's Places. This is the Tried by Juvia's Place. 100% keeping that. I love this formula. And then I have the Nomad by Juvia's Place. Keeping that one. And then I have this Revolution X Alexis Stone. This is a true rainbow palette. I don't reach for this ever. And I have these shades many, many times over. I don't need different variations of each shade. I am actually going to... but you know what? Part of me thinks this is a really good palette to keep for like Halloween makeup, but on the other hand, how often do I I'm trying to justify keeping it, but I don't know why. I actually think my cousin lives a little better. She doesn't have very many of these shades and stuff, and she loves to play with them, so I think that she would like this a lot better, so I'm just going to pass this along. The next palette, or the next little section, this, you guys, this is the Rude Cosmetics City of Pastel Lights. This is a really pretty palette, I can already tell you that. It is. But I have these shades in the 70s, what is this, the 70s Disco palette by them. This is Rude Cosmetics, which is a really nice brand. I do really like the products from them, but I have these shades, do not need it. This kind of, I don't know, this is the Tarte, what is this, Clay Play palette. This is like one of the most boring palettes I've ever seen in my entire life, but I love it. If I need just a quick, easy, throw a shade in the crease and let's go palette, this is what I reach for. It's got so many different tones of brown, which sounds really boring, but I reach for it. So I'm gonna keep it. I have this Natasha Denona Peak 5-pan eyeshadow palette. I don't think I've used this. Really don't think I've used this. So we're gonna get rid of that. When I'm keeping those, the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, I have used and abused this palette. We are keeping that. Alrighty, my ColourPop. This is where it gets rough, you guys. I have some ColourPop. The first one is this Rendevorous palette. We can get rid of that. Looks like this. We have the Yes Please palette. Ooh, I don't think I've ever even used this one, so we can get rid of that. We have the All I See Is Magic palette, which I loved for a long time, but I don't ever reach for anymore, so we can get rid of that. I'm doing better than I thought. And then I have the ColourPop I Think I Love You, which is a very basic browns. That's a very basic brown palette. We can get rid of that one as well. And then I have the Through My Eyes palette. We are 1010% keeping this. Love that palette. And then I have the Dream Street Kathleen Light palette. I'm going to get rid of this one as well. My mother-in-law actually gave this to me, but I just have never used it. She tried it a couple times. Wasn't really her cup of tea. Gave it to me, and I've never used it. So getting rid of that. And then I have the Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn. I'm keeping this palette. This palette is very unique. It's got the greens I love in it, but it's also got some really cool orange shades in it. And then I have the A Freak by Juvia's Place. I don't use this one as much, but I love the Juvia's Place formula. We're gonna, my piles are looking about the same right now, and I see a couple I can get rid of, but I see a lot I can keep. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. I don't do a lot of maybe, but we're gonna put that in the maybe pile because I'm torn on that one. Alright, let's move on to this next one. So I have a couple Zoliva palettes. I'm getting rid of both of them. Both of these palettes, in my personal opinion, are very boring. The colors in it are very, they're not speaking to me personally, so I'm going to get rid of them. This is the Offline palette. Also, I don't think any of these are still available because I was going to do videos on them, and they weren't available on the website. And this is the Spice of Life palette, and we're going to get rid of them. And then I have my ABH Jackie Ina palette, 1010% keeping this. Absolutely gorgeous palette. I have the Dominique Cosmetics Rustic Glam palette. I love this palette. There's one shade in particular, and it is the Cactus shade. And we are keeping it because this palette is absolutely stunning, and this is what made me fall in love with Dominique Cosmetics. This is the Celestial Thunder, the mini one. I don't like the formula of this one. The shimmers have a lot of fallout, and the shades just don't really speak to me. We're going to get rid of that. And then I have the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. I recently got this one when this was on sale at Sephora, and I am keeping it. It is stunning. The next little section. So the first one I have is this Viviart palette. Ouch, I just got my finger. I know Viviart is super expensive, and part of me wants to keep it just for that reason. However, I won't reach for this, so we're gonna get rid of that. These two. These are both nostalgia palettes. If you've been with me for a while and you've seen a couple of my other declutters, you would know I keep these mainly for the nostalgia region. They hold a lot of sentimental value to me. This is the Nikkie Tutorials from Too Faced palette and the Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette. This one is truly broken. Like, I can pull both sections off of their glue because I've had this for so long. But these you will have to pry out of my cold dead hands. Yeah, these have been loved and abused in their time, but these are no longer able to be used, and they are just for sentimental reasons. But if you see this, look at this. You guys, like, this has been truly, truly abused. Yeah, I have loved this palette, and we are keeping it. Alrighty, and then I have this Luminati X Isabel Bedoya. Looks like this. We're going to get rid of that. They just don't speak to me. I have my Huda Beauty Nude palette. Keeping this. I love this palette. And then I have this. This hurts me to get rid of because I love Casey Holmes. But the Physicians Formula X Casey Holmes palette is so big and bulky. I don't reach for the colors in here. The bronzer's too dark. The blush and highlighter, eh. The shades are, eh. It had a lipstick and a perfume in it. I used those up. But this is just too big and bulky for what it is. If they could just, you know, cut this off and then sold this separate, it would have been perfect. But I'm just going to get rid of this. Pains me to do it, but we are going to do it. Alrighty, the next section. We have some small ones on top we'll pull off. This is the Illuminati Quad palette. This is the Secret Society palette. Very pretty. And then we have the Illuminati Quad palette in Enlightened. Also very pretty. Neither of these speak to me though, so I'm going to get rid of both of those. And then this, if you watched part 1, you know. This is the Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions. This is the one my niece decided that she was going to dig out with her finger. She really liked the sparkly shade. I'm going to get rid of this, and this will probably just go in the trash, or I will give it back to my niece, because she is at that age now where she loves makeup, so she will, you know, be grateful, and I can just tell her she's the one who did that when she was much younger. We'll see if she even remembers. And then this is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Bite-Sized Eyeshadow in Rosewater. This doesn't speak to me at all. I think this was a free gift with purchase at Ulta at one point. I don't have any e.l.f. eyeshadows, so I might keep this just because, and I just got rid of all of my small eyeshadow palettes, so we're going to keep that just because. This is the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Creed. I don't speak Spanish, I'm so sorry. This is a gorgeous eyeshadow palette. I love the 4 shades on top. We are keeping this. It's a great summer palette. This is the Pop Zombie palette by Ruby May Cosmetics. Gorgeous packaging. These are stunning. Absolutely stunning. We're keeping them. I apologize. Chewed on one. Alrighty, this Pixie by Petra palette. This is a full shimmer palette. This actually surprised me. I really liked this palette. However, it is full shimmer, so I don't reach for this on its own. I always have to reach for this in conjunction with other palettes. However, look at these shimmers, you guys. Like, they are surprisingly good. I had never really tried Pixie. I'd never tried Pixie eyeshadows, and these blew me away. They were really pretty, but I'm gonna pass that along to someone else. And then we have the Trending in Tokyo palette by BH Cosmetics. Ooh, this is really pretty. I'm keeping that. It is stunning. I'm pretty sure I've done a video on this. If you want to see any of these eyeshadow palettes in action, let me know down below. Also, I have a whole playlist of eyeshadow palette reviews. If you want to, you know, check that out on my channel, if you want to see any of these eyeshadow palettes that I've already done. This is the Nikkie Tutorials X Beauty Bay palette. No longer available, but I'm 1000% keeping this. And then we have the Ophir Cosmetics Good to Go palette. This is really pretty. It's like an all-in-one palette, and I love it. That blue calls my name. The blush and bronzer are nice, and then the whole wheel of highlight. I love Ophir highlight. You could use them as eyeshadow. You can use them as what they're intended for. They're gorgeous, and I love it. Alrighty, and then I have the Venice Fling by Bailey Sarian X Estate. This is a really pretty palette. I love Bailey Sarian, and we are going to hold on to this for a little longer. I haven't used it as much as I should, but it's coming, don't worry. We will. And then the Tati Beauty Volume 1. Everyone knows this palette has been, if you don't know, where have you been? But everyone knows this palette has been discontinued and Tati Beauty is no longer. People are selling this palette for an insane amount. Mine has been loved. Mine has been used. I mean, not too bad, but it has been used a handful of times. And it is a really pretty palette. Not necessarily something I reach for all the time. The pressed glitters are okay. Pressed glitters are not my favorite. And you've got like metallics, sequins, and mattes. It's definitely a unique palette, and I am keeping it. I will probably never get rid of this one. This is another like sentimental one. Alright, one I love is the Makeup Revolution Risha Bright palette. I love this palette so much, you guys. This has been in favorites videos, and this palette has truly been loved. I love every part of this palette, every shade in this palette. It is truly gorgeous, and we are keeping it. This is one of my absolute favorite colored, like, rainbow color palettes. Alrighty, next we have all of my Morphe. This is gonna be difficult. Alright, I have two of the small Morphe Jaclyn Hill Vault palettes. This one is in the shade Dark Magic. We can get rid of her. She is super dark, super vampy, all like greens and blues. We can get rid of that. And then this one is really pretty. This is in the shade Armed and Gorgeous, but I am keeping my Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, and that has all these shades in it, so we can get rid of that one as well. This one is huge. This is the 39S palette. I don't reach for giant palettes like this anymore. It's just not something I reach for. However, these shades are stunning. Like, this palette truly is gorgeous, but I just don't like the big palettes. I have nowhere to store these. They're just a pain in the butt to get out because they get buried. I'm going to get rid of this. It pains me to do so because I really do love this palette, but I do feel like my ABH Norvina palettes have all of these shades in it, so it makes me feel a little better, but it still sucks. Yeah, like I have nowhere to stack this to... Hopefully my stack eyeshadow palettes doesn't fall. And then I have both of the Jaclyn Hill palettes. I'm torn. This is the original. Mine has been abused. It doesn't really speak to me, but I'm debating. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, or kind of bad, maybe, especially if you're like a diehard Jaclyn Hill fan. I don't watch Jaclyn Hill. I've never watched Jaclyn Hill. I mainly just bought this because I bought the first one because my aunt recommended it to me, and I bought the second one because it spoke to me. I'm gonna get rid of the first one. Like, it doesn't hold any sentimental value to me or anything, and it's, in my personal opinion, kind of boring. It was an icon for its time, do not get me wrong. No slander to Jaclyn. You know, I follow her on Instagram. I just don't watch her YouTube or anything, and I don't really like, follow along with her life or anything, but this palette just doesn't speak to me anymore, so we are going to get rid of her. And I will keep Volume 2 just because it is really pretty. I got this myself for my birthday a couple years, maybe 2 years ago. It is stunning, and it's still got plenty of life left in it, and it is a gorgeous palette. Alright, this one. This one is in the 35N palette. Ooh, that's a pretty palette, but I have all these shades. We can just get rid of that. One we're keeping is the 24A Artist Pass palette. This is a stunning palette, and it's got a lot of really cool glitters in it, and like some star glitters. I don't play with glitter a lot, but when I do, this is something I reach for. This is gorgeous, and it's got your very unique array of glitters. So we're keeping her. And then I have the James Charles palette. This, this is the Morphe X James Charles. I have not used this in a very long time. I have no intention to use this. It doesn't speak to me. The palette is too big. I might get rid of this. This will probably be another one that goes to my cousin because she loves colors like this again. And she has the mini James Charles palette, so I'll see if she wants the big one. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. That's just another one where it's just too big. Just not... Like, the shades in it are fine, but the palette itself is too large. I'm not reaching for palettes like that anymore. And then I have the Morphe X Jeffree Star palette. So this is what this one looks like. Let's pull up the Fruit Pie Filling palette, and we will compare the two. Alrighty, so we do have a few differences. We definitely do have a few differences. However, I have to say, I think the You Can Be one is speaking to me a little more. We have a few differences, but for the main part, the shades that I like in the Morphe one are in the You Can Be one. Like, the only shades I really like in the Morphe one are these two bottom greens, which are in the You Can Be one, and then this unique green, which is in the You Can Be one, and then this pink, which is in the You Can Be one, and this silver, which I have in another palette. And this one, which I have in the You Can Be one. So yeah, any shade I like in here is in the You Can Be one, so I'm going to get rid of this. Wow. Alright. And then we have one in the Maybe palette, or the Maybe pile. My Juvia's Place F-Freak palette. I don't reach for this, but the shades. You know what? I don't reach for it. We're going to get rid of it. No reason to keep something I do not reach for. Alright, you guys. We got rid of a lot, but we kept a lot. Let's count how many we are getting rid of. So we are getting rid of 30. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. And we're keeping 32. So we are getting rid of a decent amount compared to what we are keeping. And I do have to say, even though I didn't get rid of too much in the first half too, all of the palettes that I kept were able to fit in one drawer. I had 4 for my eyeshadow palette, so hopefully this will fit in one drawer as well, and then I'll only have 2, which would be amazing because I would love to use another drawer for
Alrighty, you guys, let me know how you think I did. Let me know if you've used any of the products I decluttered. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I love to hear them. Also, stay tuned for more declutters because we are going to be going through my entire collection, like I said, so stay tuned for those. But you guys, that is all. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see the next one. Bye!